You ever set your expectations too high for certain things? Well, I just set my expectations lower at times because I don't expect a whole lot of other people. Think about it. I'm a Lions fan. I had to change the battery on the camera, and that often happens in the middle of shoots. So we're back. Had to change the ISO on that. In today's video, we're going to talk about why bad news makes the most money. I'm going to let you all know that if you don't know, I went to a media production school. And I went there for a couple reasons. Number one, I had started a sports podcast. I was heavy off into the Lions and Pistons, and even the Tigers as well. Dabbled a little bit with the Red Wings, but not so much. You might be able to look up some of the history. Detroit Man's Room. You know, we still got a Facebook page and a Twitter page, but it's not doing all that. But anyway, so I went to media production school. I think it was like an 8-month program, maybe 11 months or so. Graduated in like 2011. And I learned a lot from that school. And what happened was that I was taught that in news, what happens is that they give you all of this information during the whole newscast. And at the end of the newscast, they give you one feel-good story. It's like, okay, that's all we get in our newscast every single week or every single day. That's all we get in our newscast every single day. It's ridiculous. You know, I learned so much about the production aspect and what people want to actually hear in the news. I just got so familiar with the fact that it's all bad news. I mean, watch the news. CNN, Fox, local news, whatever. It's all bad news. And I never liked it. I never understood it. My grandparents and my parents have always watched the news, and I'm just like, nah, not interested in bad news. Of course, the school taught us that it's important to know what's going on in the world. And I get it. The realistic part is that it makes so much money. In a video that I watched with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he said that, you know, when he bought the team years ago, I can't remember when, he said that somebody told him that you have no idea how important the NFL is to television. And I was just like, okay, there's nothing else that comes after that, like television, period. When I heard that, I thought about it. What's most important to TV? Commercials. So the commercials that play, of course, they always wind up being commercials for what's happening in the upcoming week. And when you talk about what's happening in the upcoming week, we're talking about local TV stations that are playing TV shows that run Monday to Saturday or so, you know, and even movies, regular shows that come on, series that come on, and they're running these commercials each and every day. But on Sunday, everybody's sitting at home not doing anything. The NFL is the predominant thing that's watched on Sunday, and it's always on Sunday. You know, other sports play throughout the week, but, you know, football and the NFL is king when it comes to sports. And I had to realize that, you know, real-time sports is what's most important to TV. I don't even watch TV anymore. I haven't watched real-time TV probably since the mid-90s, if that. You know, when sitcoms were out and things like that. What that took me to is that learning that and the aspect of running a commercial for something that's coming on later in the week, it made me realize that during the time that these shows continue to play out through the week, they're actually showing more commercials for more things for you to watch. So they want you tuned in, they want you locked in. Of course, I feel like, you know, whatever conspiracy theory you want to draw up is programmed to keep people focused on the television, which means you can be fed whatever type of information the media wants to. And that's just how it works. So when I continue to look forward and think about what this means is that, you know, we get funneled down to the news. What's really happening? What's going on in the world? The journalists want to come up with the best stories. The best stories just happen to be the most negative stories. Murder, accidents, chaos in the government, all of these different things just play a factor in, okay, what's the best story? What's the dirtiest story? What's the most negative story? What's the most evil story? That's what people are drawn to. And it's unfortunate. It's downright disgusting if you ask me. As a human being, I think that we should look at it and say, okay, what am I really drawn to? A lot of people say that they don't like drama, but the truth is that when you recognize that drama is there, maybe you go the other way. And there's not enough people that actually do that. And unfortunately, that's what drives our media. That's what drives our television. You know, with the way that the world is now, with the internet and things like that, we can kind of filter what it is we want to set our eyes on. And people want more positivity. Unfortunately, we're human. And sometimes I think that humans, we need that negative balance. Our mind could be playing tricks on us if you think about it. Like, do we really want to hear negative things? And it's like, sometimes it's just toxic. Toxic is the word that I can think of. So yeah, I don't want toxic things around when it comes to stupid things that are being said by the government, or less fortunate things that are happening in the community. It's like, well, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And don't get me wrong, of course it's important to know some of these things, but for me, I'm like, if I was in a coma and you told me all of the negative news, you would probably tell me all the news that has happened since I was in a coma. And I just think about that. Hope I don't get in a coma. Those are the type of things that drive us if we pay attention to what's actually happening in television and the media. Because advertisers pay top dollar to get their spot while these TV shows are running, while the sporting games are actually happening. When the best stories happen, they funnel down to the news station. The news stations have their pillar, they have their spot, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever it is, they're funneling down to get you to watch that information that they want to share. And I think that they lose that sometimes when, a lot of people don't want to see all of the news, because think about it. The top story is always the most intriguing story. And a lot of times it's the worst story. Is that what we really want? It's like some people actually sit and wait. Like, I want to know what the news is talking about. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that people want to know what's going on in the world. It affects us emotionally, I believe. I'm not a scientist or anything. But I think that, to even take it a step further, when the journalists do certain things like this to try to get the best story, they can also go on social media platforms and just post something absolutely ridiculous. Like when they talked about trading Matthew Stafford, that was ridiculous. A top 10 quarterback being put on trading blocks in the prime of his career. Really? I mean, those are the type of things that they just stir the pot and they feed off negative information. And when it's on a social media platform, anybody has access to that, and anybody has access to retweet it, share it, reply, and just start this whole tailspin of negative information or controversy. And these things are compounding in our social media platforms. If the topic was already ridiculous to begin with, why entertain it? So that's why I think that negative information in the news just makes so much money. It draws so much attention. And it keeps people into this kind of toilet bowl of just circling around and around each and every day, talking about the same negative mess. And that's what it is. To me, it's all mess. I just wanted to share that thought, and this is something that I've been thinking about. But, I'll probably talk more about it in the future. So, again, if you like this video and you got some information to share about negative media, or just how the media makes money, or just how television really impacts everybody emotionally, leave something in the comment for me. I appreciate it. So like and subscribe. Take care. God bless. Peace.